This is Goku's son, DBZ, and welcome to a very special YouTube review. I am reviewing actually something that I recently came across as I was cleaning out my closet. It's an old collection of Magic the Gathering cards that I got. It's called, of course, Magic the Gathering Collector's Edition. Now, I'm not sure if I still have all the cards in here, to be honest, but obviously these are very much older classic cards. And of course it came in the case like this, and obviously you can tell they are much older cards. Like some of the older classic mana land cards. How you could tell these are special collector's editions is that all the ones in this came with a gold trim and gold writing collector's edition, rather than the standard black that you would see in normal Magic the Gathering cards. And I will say that, for the most part, Magic has always been a really interesting series. I wasn't really big into it earlier on until probably the last maybe 6-7 years, really when I started getting into the game. But I had been collecting for quite a while. Not to play, but actually because I appreciate the classic artwork and design of the cards. That's what really appealed to me in the first place with Magic the Gathering, was actually just the beautiful artwork that you would see. Just showing you like some basic, of course, mana cards. Some of these are, you see like newer reprints on. Cards like these mountains, obviously, you've seen newer ones on, but these are the originals. Of course, your classic swamp cards. That's enough mana. How about we get to some actual stuff? Of course, you have, obviously, multiple different kinds of magic cards. And of course, obviously, one up there means 1 mana. But I guess you could say the Pokemon card game was sort of a rip-off of really Magic the Gathering. But it was okay for the most part. Why? Because Wizards of the Coast produced both the Magic as well as the Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! That was Upper Deck. And of course, Pokemon. That's why they had the same basis, like with the mana type system, or just type system, rather than actually calling it mana. And of course, that's a nice little card, because it says return any card from your graveyard to your hand. So that's a sweet little card to use, and only costing 2 mana is not too bad either. The mana cost is good for the most part. Now, of newer cards, I will say that I've played over the years. Probably some of my favorite themed decks that I've played is probably my core decks. I also am become more of a fan of the mirror decks, but core has always been one of my favorites along with angel decks. Not the biggest fan of sliver decks. And goodness gracious, you gotta keep your distance with people who have goblin and goodness gracious stupid elf decks. Those things can drive you nuts. And yeah, a lot of the artwork in these older cards is very nice, for the most part. Water type is very useful, especially when you combine, of course, certain types with obviously different types of artifacts. An artifact water deck can be very useful, especially make people have to basically discard their entire deck. So yeah, water decks are definitely useful. But probably my all-time favorite deck that I've built over time is actually a vampire deck. It's easily one of my favorites to build. I just love vampire types. I love vampires with the exception of crappy Twilight. Now here's a couple of black cards, of course. Now this is a classic one. Now you wouldn't see this in many other games. This is one of the few games that actually risks things because you can't see, but on the top of the demon's forehead is an upside down pentagram. They censored all the Yu-Gi-Oh cards and even Pokemon cards of anything like that. Over the years, you would never see that. But Magic never censored themselves because they were always going for a much more mature audience for the most part. Love that. That's definitely a nice one, and for the cost of 1 mana. And yeah, you have some pretty twisted art here and there, definitely mature rated art, but that's maybe one of the reasons I've always enjoyed Magic. Is just to appreciate the wonderful artwork. Creepy. Just saying. Just showing you a few of the cards that come in the deck. Actually, they have in the collectors one of my favorite vampire creatures to use, though I use regular version. I don't use any of these cards, since they're collector's edition. They stay nice and safe in my box. Yes, white types can be very useful. And you'll have to leave me a comment below and tell me if you play Magic yourself. If you just collect the art and appreciate it for what it is, or if you also play, and if you do play, what is your favorite type of deck and what is your favorite theme for deck? Like, of course, me, my probably 3 favorites are Angels, Core, and Vampires. Though I occasionally like my classic Burn deck with a few, of course, dragons in it. And now some classic red. Some nice background type artwork. That's one thing I tell people about Magic. Even if you don't play the game, you should at least do some collecting. Because like with comic books, you can really appreciate the artwork and the time that some of the artists spent on making some of these things. Because some of the art is honestly really beautiful. It looks like what you would get if you crossed a dragon with a chicken. So I wonder if that means that chicken dragon spits fire. That'd be funny. And trust me, if you get the reference to the, like the chicken breathing fire thing, at least somebody gets the reference. Ugly. I'll get ready to cut this video. Okay, now, other cards. Keep you out of the way. Basically, warrior types right there. Some gruesome looking creatures. Well, there's a face only a mother could love. Ooh, look. A flying Pegasus. Then a center unicorn. And here's some of the creatures. Well, some of the not so pleasant creatures. Of course, we have our zombies. Now there's some pretty awesome artwork right there. And here's the very last. Of course, my favorite type. And this is one of my favorite, actually, vampire cards to collect in different versions and incarnations. It's a very nice, useful little card. Concern, it has flying. Vampire gets a +1/+1 counter each time a creature dies during a turn in which vampire damaged it, unless the dead creature is regenerated. So that's kind of a nice little nifty ability. I'll get ready to cut this vlog. Hope you enjoyed this little trip down memory lane with me, a little bit of discussion and enjoyment for Magic the Gathering. As I said, please tell me what some of your favorite Magic cards were growing up. If you played Magic, that is. And if you still play Magic, please remember to thumbs up this video, like, subscribe, follow me at twitter.com/GokuSunDBZ, as well as on Google+. And let me know in the future if you would like me to review, show you guys a couple of newer Magic decks I've been working on here and there on the side when I've had the time. And I'll see you all next time for, of course, comic book review for Bonnie Lass, issue number 1, as a favor to somebody I know. And after that, you can expect a special comic book review that I'm going to keep mysterious until the actual review. I'm also working a special top 10 list, so I'll see you next time here. Same YouTube time, same YouTube channel.